Indeed, Yoshua Bengio, please, for the second part of the briefing.
Thank you, Your Excellency, the President of the General Assembly, Ms. Annalena Baerbock, for convening this interactive dialogue. And dear Excellencies and distinguished representatives, I really appreciate the opportunity to speak to you today, to expand a bit on the beautiful speech that my co-chair, Maria Ressa, just gave you on the work of our panel. This moment in our collective history is being defined by an incredibly rapid technological transformation, the pace and scale of which are unprecedented. And I'm going to insist on this, because from both a scientific and a societal standpoint, AI represents a turning point, a historical and transformative development, because it is about the growing intelligence of machines. And intelligence gives power, with lots of risks that come with that, including a risk of excessive power concentration. This is all happening faster than the speed at which societies appear able to adapt. For those reasons, the importance of this panel's work and the urgency to act now, given AI's current trajectory and the potential scenarios of where it will go in coming years, they cannot be overstated. I firmly believe that science is a collaborative endeavor. That's what I have lived throughout my life, my career. An endeavor rooted in the search of truth. That is the foundation. That means objectivity and evidence, regardless of the pressures and preferences of the world around it, which do matter, but it is your job. Sometimes we have to say things that are not comfortable because the evidence points to it. And so I see that same thinking reflected in the very title of this panel, the Independent, International, Scientific Panel on AI. Independent of any company, government, or institution, even the UN itself. International, as Maria said, given the ambitious scale of this global collaboration and the importance of having a global discussion, because AI is going to be a global phenomenon, it already is. And then, of course, scientific, to establish a rigorous shared base of evidence for policymakers. The decisions made today regarding AI by governments around the world will thus have lasting consequences, and we may not have a lot of time to take the important decisions. So our duty is to ensure those decisions are best informed using the highest standards of scientific integrity. Which brings us to the process of pulling together this preliminary report to be released on July 1st. We have had this year a very short time frame between the panel's appointment in February and the first expected output in Geneva in early July. So it was clear from the beginning that this first report could not be a comprehensive and exhaustive one. In fact, I'm extremely proud and surprised by how much we were able to do and how much content you will find in the report. To give this output the appropriate scientific rigor it deserves, we decided to deliver a preliminary assessment of the state of AI and its opportunities, impacts, and risks for society, as set out in the resolution creating this panel. You will find in this report four main sections. First, defines AI, highlights how it differs from other emerging technologies, and addresses the urgent need for an independent evidence-based assessment of AI systems. The second part outlines the current scientific evidence highlighting different key assessments of topics including rapidly advancing capabilities, concentration of power, the AI divide, human and children rights, and many others. The third section recaps key domain-specific findings and use cases to illustrate these points. The fourth focuses on evidence gaps, scope of the mandate, and the next steps for the panel. The panel members all contributed to the developing of the document's structure, which was deemed best suited to fulfill our mandate within this deadline. And we are really proud of the result. Its scientific thoroughness is a result of a diversity of panelists' backgrounds and contributions, which we were able to put to best use by forming 7 complementary thematic working groups, which I will present. These working groups were selected and identified by the panel as a whole and formed based on the most pressing policy-relevant themes to be addressed by member states' collaboration. And I want to highlight this question of policy relevant. There are many things that are written in the scientific literature, but we wanted to highlight the elements that matter for policy decisions to come. So the 7 working groups themes are the following. The first one on AI science advances, so the science of AI itself, its advances, what the data shows, the trajectories which can help policymakers anticipate where it might go in coming years. The second is about societal applications in science, other sciences, right? In health, for example, education and agriculture. The third is on economic implications, implications to labor, productivity, and development. The fourth is on security, systems, and environmental implications. The fifth is on human rights, information, and democracy. The sixth is on cultural and individual flourishing, autonomy, and child safety. And the last is on management practice and frameworks, capacity building, and reliability. In terms of process, the panelists got the chance to rank and choose the working group they felt best placed to contribute their expertise to. To avoid silos or overlap between working groups, we unanimously agreed to provide panelists with full access to other working groups' drafts, meetings, so everyone could go to all the meetings of the other working groups, and decision-making process. And then within each working group, a facilitator was appointed on a volunteer basis, again, with the responsibility of keeping the groups on schedule, ensuring drafts were circulated, and raising issues during our weekly plenary meetings. And in fact, often someone else from the working group was presenting when that was most appropriate. So this facilitator role did not give an additional say to those people in the discussions, but helped reduce the administrative burden and make each group more productive and coordinated with the other groups. Another panel subgroup was created based on organic discussions during our crucial in-person meeting in Madrid in April. It comprises of at least one volunteer from each working group, and it serves as an agile group that handles time-sensitive editorial decisions, improves cross-group communication, and helps ensure that no task falls to the wayside and goes unaddressed. This agile group met weekly, with meetings always open for any panel member to join if they so wished. So that sets the frequency of meetings for most panelists to 2 or 3 per week. The working group meeting, the panel-wide plenary, and especially near the end, a meeting of the Agile editorial group for those involved. I must say that I am incredibly grateful for the dedication and commitment of each panelist to contribute their time and expertise to these regular meetings. The creation of this Agile group, as well as the crucial discussions on report structure and scope, is a product of our incredibly valuable in-person retreat that we held in Madrid, as I said, last April. With less than 3 months ahead of us at that time, before the report deadline, this meeting came at a moment where time was of the essence and we needed to align quickly and efficiently. This was an unequivocal success. The productivity and collaborative spirit we created in person set the tone for the drafting of the preliminary report, and it allowed an incredibly valuable flow of ideas, discussions, and collective problem solving. Given these outcomes, it's clear that organizing further in-person retreats will be vital for our future efforts. It's necessary to continue funding such initiatives, please, and we appreciate any contribution you can make in this regard. So we look forward to continuing our collaborative work to produce the panel's first annual report in 2027. Until then, we will continue to provide a source for trustworthy, evidence-based assessments of AI as it continues evolving, notably with ad hoc thematic briefs throughout the coming year. We also look forward to refining, improving, and expanding our various processes, including by potentially setting up a mechanism for consultations with experts and stakeholders beyond the immediate panel. I'm confident that this panel, which unites a diverse group of 40 of the world's foremost experts on AI, will be a crucial voice in the global conversation on AI. And I look forward to continuing this work with my esteemed colleagues, and I thank all of them for their exceptional contributions. Thank you.
Thank you. I thank Mr. Bengio. I thank Maria Ressa for their briefings, not only informing about the further process, but underlining again that the decisions ahead are too important and too far-reaching for any of us to make in isolation or to delay.